Namaste, yogis. Let's start our practice with the Sahana Vavatu chant. Hands in Namaste. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take your hands behind your back, grab one wrist with the other hand, and take a deep bow forward. For those of you who have never attended my practice, I welcome you. My name is Margaret. I have been practicing yoga for about 30 years now and have been teaching for about 10 years. Several of my students have been asking me if I was going to offer an online course so that they can continue their practice from their home during the pandemic. Well, here it is. I finally got around to it. So the style of yoga that I teach, for those of you who are new, I call it Raja Yoga. It is based on the foundational text called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So this writing contains 8 limbs that we follow in our practice of yoga, and the goal being to attain the highest state of consciousness possible for a human being, which you may refer to as enlightenment. I usually start my practice with a short talk on a subject of yoga, followed by asana practice, which is the postures, then do a pranayama session or a mental training session, maybe contemplation or meditation or chanting a mantra, and end the practice in shavasana. If you have done yoga before, you might find this a little different than the style you're used to. Western yoga focuses a lot on the physical postures. So if that is your goal, is just doing physical postures, that is fine. You might try this style and see what you think about it. Really, yoga, the physical postures, according to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, is only 1/8 of your practice. And there are 7 other limbs that to get the full yoga experience, we must practice all of the 8. So today's talk will be on what is involved in the Patanjali yoga practice, the 8 limbs of yoga. We start with the restraints. They're called the yamas. And these are things that we don't do, the don'ts of yoga. There are things like ahimsa, non-violence, satya, non-lying, asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, continence, and aparigraha, which is non-possessiveness. Then we move on to number 2, which is the niyamas. These are the observances. These are the things that we are encouraged to do. There are things like shaucha, which is purity, santosha, which is contentment, tapas, austerities, swadhyaya, self-study, and finally Ishvara pranidhana, which is surrendering to the divine, or what you may call that universal consciousness. So those are the yamas, niyamas, do's and don'ts of yoga. Number 3 is listed as asana, and this is what most Westerners know as yoga. It's the physical practice, the postures that we do. Then number 4 is pranayama, or breath control. Prana actually means life force, but we use the breath to control our life force. So it involves mainly breathing exercises. Number 5 is pratyahara. This is sensory withdrawal. So this is where we really start getting into the meat of yoga, if you may call it, or the most important part of the yoga teachings. And then it's followed by dharana dhyana samadhi, which is concentration, meditation, and bliss. So those three are really where our practice becomes internalized. We usually start by something more tangible, something more physical. Maybe we will stare at a candle for starting maybe just 5 minutes, or we might chant a mantra. We might even use our scent, focusing on a smell or so forth. Usually using the 5 senses to learn how to focus, increasing that amount of focus. Then we move on to something a little more abstract, maybe like a thought or a feeling or something that we really can't take into our hands and hold and observe. So we focus more internally. Then finally, we try to silence the mind completely and merge our consciousness with the divine consciousness. So that is really the goal of yoga, is to attain this state called bliss, where we and the divine are one, unity. And that's what the word yoga means, is unity. So we go through these limbs. Notice I use the word limbs instead of the word steps. So it's not that we complete one and move on to the next. Like we finished non-violence, we attained that, we mastered that, and so now we move on to non-lying and then to non-stealing and so forth. It's not a step-by-step process. We do them all simultaneously. So we practice our moral do's and don'ts. We practice our postures, and we might meditate. Usually we start out with a more physical outward practice, then slowly we turn our practice more inward. So that's usually how it works, and it takes many years to attain this state of what they call bliss, samadhi. Some people will not attain it in this lifetime, so it might take many, many lifetimes to attain this state. One teacher once told me that if you seriously practice yoga for your whole life, it'll take 3 lifetimes to really master yoga. So it is the more you practice, the more deep it becomes. Your practice becomes more deep, more meaningful. It's a life-changing type of practice, but you really have to make an effort. It's not something that you do for a few weeks and you master. It's a lifelong practice. So just for you who would like to take the path of Raja Yoga, it's not an easy path. It's a constant practice. Even after my close to 30 years of practice, I'm still learning. So it's a lifelong practice. So I discussed really quickly a quick summary of what Raja Yoga is about. If you continue coming to my classes, we'll go over each topic more in detail. So it was kind of just a really rough runoff of what we do in yoga, just to give you an idea what it consists of. Now we will move on to our physical practice, our asana as we call it. So let's stand up. So let us interlace our fingers and inhale, stretch upwards, reaching as high as you can. You can come to your tiptoes if you like, or keep your heels on the mat. Feel a nice stretch along your spine. Take a few deep breaths. Relax. Now inhale and exhale, bend to your right, straight to the side, like as if you were leaning against the wall as you're doing this posture. So in other words, don't bend forward, go straight to the side. Take a few more deep breaths, try to relax. Inhale, slowly come back to the center, and exhale, bend to the left. You notice I don't mirror poses. Some teachers like to mirror poses. I find it too distracting, confusing, whatever. As long as you do your left side and right side, that is fine. You can mirror me if you like, or do the same side that I am doing. Doesn't really matter as long as you do both sides. So inhale, slowly come back up. Exhale, lower your arms and relax. You can move around if you like. So next, let's do a shoulder stretch. So hands on your shoulders. We're going to make big circles with the elbows. Let's do 10 in each direction. Slow, big circles. And about 10 is fine. If that's too much for you, do less. If you like to sneak in an extra circle or two, if it feels good, that is fine too. When you finish 10 in one direction, or about 10, then go in the opposite direction. Notice what's happening in your shoulders. One might feel tighter than the other. You might feel some popping or clicking sounds. Just notice. When you finish, lower your arms and relax. Feel the effects of the pose. So now we're going to do a balance pose. A simple balance pose. And if you need to hang on to a wall or a post or a chair, feel free to do so. We will start by bending our right knee or one knee and hugging it into the body and straightening the back. Just hold it here. And now we're going to add foot circles. So make circles with that right ankle or whichever leg you have up. Do 10 slow circles in each direction. Notice that this takes a little extra mental focus to hold your balance and make the fine adjustments you need to do while you make the circles. So about 10 in each direction. When you're done, do point and flex about 10 times, plus or minus a couple. And when you're done, release with control. Take a little break, and we'll switch sides. When you're ready, bend your left knee. If you're doing the same side as I am, straighten your back. First, we'll just hold it. Use your breath to stabilize the pose. And now let's add the foot circles. In each direction. And when you finish, do 10 point and flex movements. Up and down. Loosening the ankle. Done. Release with control. Good job. So shake it out if you need to. Next we'll do a back bend followed by a forward bend. Today we'll start by interlacing the hands behind your back. Open your feet slightly apart for balance. First we're going to lean back. So open your shoulders as wide as you can get them. Then inhale, let your head fall back, look up towards the ceiling. Now, in my style of yoga, I teach people to keep your eyes closed as much as you can, but you can keep it open. Open your eyes when you need it for balance and when you need to watch the instructions. Otherwise, our goal is to focus more inside. So we want to keep the eyes closed whenever possible to focus on what's going on inside your body. Inhale, slowly come up with your hands still interlaced. Fold forward. If possible, raise your hands behind your back. If not, you can just keep your arms or your hands on your back. Take a few deep breaths, try to relax. Inhale, slowly come back up. Exhale, release your arm, release your legs, and relax. So next we'll do a posture called triangle pose. Stand with your feet about one leg length apart. Point your right toe out, left toe in. Place your right hand on your right thigh. And inhale, take your left hand up to the sky, reach as high as you can. You can stay here, or you can slide your right hand down towards your shin, or maybe even towards your ankle if you're more flexible. Try to keep your hips stacked up one on top of the other. Again, imagining doing this pose against a wall. You can actually lean against the wall in the beginning to get the feeling, to make sure your pose is right. The tendency is for the butt to stick out too far, so try to stack up one hip on top of the other, looking upwards, and again, if possible, close your eyes. If it's too difficult, keep them open. Inhale, slowly come up. Point your feet forward. Exhale, lower your arms. We'll go straight into the other side. Point your left foot out, right foot in. Left hand on left thigh, right arm up. And take a few breaths. Look up towards your right hand. If you feel like you can go a little deeper without shifting your hips, slide your left arm towards your left shin, or possibly towards your left ankle, looking upwards, remaining focused. Inhale, slowly come back up. Put your feet forward. Exhale, lower your arms and release the pose. So next is a spinal twist. I'll face the other way so you can see better. Placing your right hand on your left shoulder, making a fist with your left hand and placing it behind the back. So with your inhale, get your spine as long as you can get it. And with your exhale, twist to your left, looking behind you. And hold. Breathe deeply, relax into the pose. Maintain your focus. Inhale and exhale. Return to the center, release your arms, and we'll switch sides. Left hand goes on right shoulder, right hand makes a fist behind the back. Inhale, stretch up, extend the spine, and exhale, twist to your right, looking behind you. Notice a nice curve in your spine. And inhale and exhale, release, come back to the center, relax. So now we're going to do a forward bend, Uttanasana. We'll stretch up and then swan dive into a forward bend. So when you're ready, inhale, take your arms way up to the sky, look up, and exhale, swan dive into a forward bend. Your hands can be on the floor, your hands can be on your shins, or you can have it in ragdoll position where you bend your elbows and each hand grabs the other upper arm. And just hang there. Let gravity pull your upper body towards earth. Inhale, release, slowly come up one vertebra at a time, rounding your back. And exhale, release, take a break. So we're going to do another balance pose now. I like to call this star pose. It's kind of in a star shape. We'll start by leaning to the left and raising the right leg. So when you're ready, inhale, take your arms up, turn the palms to face me, face the screen, your computer, and exhale, lean to your right and raise your left leg. Or the other way around, lean to your left and raise your right leg, whichever you like. And try to make a star position, then try to center your head between your arms. So in other words, the tendency is for the head to want to be upright, but you're kind of resisting that and bringing your head between your two arms, making it a little more difficult. Inhale, come back to the center, and exhale, release. Take a little break. And we'll switch sides. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, lean to the other side and raise the outer leg up. Center your head between the arms. The more you lean to your side, the more difficult the pose is. And the more you raise your right leg, then the more difficult it becomes. So just go where it's kind of difficult, but not too difficult. And hold. It might be a little too difficult to close the eyes. You can try if you like. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, release, take a break. So shake it out if you like. Okay, we'll do one more standing posture before sitting down. So stand with your feet wide apart. Bend your knees. And bring your hands in Namaste. It seems like an easy pose, but the more you hang on to the pose, the longer we keep it, it's going to get more difficult. So you might feel some shaking or some discomfort in your legs. If this is too easy and you'd like to deepen it, just bend your knees a little deeper. You can also close your eyes, working on the balance. And try to pull in your stomach muscles and pull up your pelvic muscles. And slightly bring your chin towards your chest. Take a few deep breaths in this position. If there's any shaking, that's a good thing. That means you're really working your muscles. Okay, inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, lower your arms to your side, release the pose and relax. And now come into table pose. So So hands should be about shoulder width apart, knees should be about hip width apart, and we'll do what's called the cat-cow movement. With your inhale, lower your stomach, look upwards. With your exhale, round your back and pull in your chin. Inhale, stomach down, look up. Exhale, round your back, pull in your chin. Do about 8 more at your own pace. So inhale, your stomach goes down, head goes up. Exhale, you round your back and pull in the chin. Keep focused on your breath. Again, you don't have to do exactly 10. If you want to go a little bit faster and do a few extras, that's fine too. I personally don't really count when I'm doing it, so I may do a few extras or maybe 8 or 9 instead of 10. Let's do one more. When you finish, hold your pose in cat pose. So back straight, stretches upward, holding in your chin. Like an angry cat. And release. Come to a neutral position. Then next we're going into downward dog. So bring the bottom of your toes onto the mat. Lift your hips up. Then press into your heels. Bring your shoulder blades together. Flatten your back. And you can look between your legs or towards the mat. Just keep your neck relaxed. Neck should be on a natural extension of your spine. So don't pull in your chin too far or push your head out in the opposite direction. Just keep it natural. Feel a nice stretch along your legs, your hamstrings, and your arms. Maybe your shoulders. If you find this too difficult, you can come a little forward. If you have shoulder pain, just go where it doesn't hurt. And we'll hold it a few more breaths. Notice any changes that are happening in your body. Okay, now bring your knees back to the mat into table pose. We're going to next step our right foot between the hands and bring the heel on the mat. So we're going to go into a forward bend from this position. The heel can be slightly towards your right hand side to kind of balance it out a little better. And when you're ready, bring your head towards your right knee. Notice where you're feeling it. And release. Slowly step back with your right foot. Come into table pose. Take a short breath in between, and then we'll do the other side. When you're ready, step forward with your left foot and bring the left heel on the mat. And again, fold forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, table pose. Release the pose and relax. So next we're going to thread we'll start with the left side. We'll inhale, raise the left arm. Exhale, thread it under the right. So let's do this together. Inhale, raise your left arm up to the ceiling. And exhale, thread your left arm under the right, look to your right, and bring your left shoulder to the mat. You can hold it here, or you can raise your right arm, or you can take your right arm behind your back, whatever feels good to you today. Place your right hand back to the mat, and we'll unspin. Inhale, take your left arm up to the sky, looking upward. And exhale, slowly bring your left hand back to the mat into table pose. So now we'll do the other side. Inhale, bring your right arm up to the sky, looking up. Exhale, thread the right arm under left, bring your right shoulder to the mat, look to your left. You can stay here, or you can raise your left arm and look up, or you can take your left arm behind your back. If you're more flexible, you might even be able to grab your inner right thigh with your left hand. Place your left hand back on the mat. Inhale, spin open with your right arm, looking upwards. And exhale, placing your right arm back on the mat. So from here, we're going into a pose called pigeon pose. So walk your hands forward. If you need to adjust your position on the mat, you can do that. Bring your right knee under your right wrist and pull up your right foot if available. If not, just keep it low. If you're more flexible, bring it to where the shin is parallel to the short side of the mat. Slide your left leg back, come forward to your elbows, or even bring your head towards the mat for a little deeper stretch. And hold, relax. Slowly push yourself up and move your right leg back. Come back into table pose and we'll switch sides. So move your left knee forward. Bring your left foot up if available. Slide your right leg back. Walk your hands forward. Come to your elbows if available and bring your head towards the mat for a deeper stretch. Take a few deep breaths. Try and relax into the pose. Place your hands back on the mat. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come back to table pose, and just come into a seated position. Now, I like the Sukhasana position. Sukhasana is cross-legged pose. If this doesn't work for you, if you have knee issues or hip issues, you can have your legs forward, you can have your knees bent. Some people are actually in India, they like to sit in Vajrasana. This is difficult for most Westerners, but you can also do it in this position. Some schools, yoga schools, teach that position, but I like to be comfortable, so I recommend Sukhasana or whatever works for you. And let's do some neck stretches together. So bring your hands to your knees, shoulders relaxed, and point your chin up to the sky. Let your head fall back. Really feel a nice stretch to the front side of your neck. Inhale and exhale, come back to the center. This time we're going to pull the chin in towards us. So with your exhale, bring your chin down. Looking downwards, feel a nice stretch to the back side of your neck. This should feel good. Inhale and exhale, release, come back to the center. Next, we'll turn our head to the side, and I'll start with the right side. You choose whichever side you like. Keep the other shoulder relaxed. If you like a deeper stretch, then raise the hand towards the side that your head is tilted, and gently give it a little push downwards. That way you'll feel a little deeper stretch. I'm doing the left side right now, but whichever side you're doing, the open side, you will feel a nice stretch. Inhale and exhale, release. Come back to the center and do the other side. Tilt your head. If you're using your hand, place your hand on the head and gently press down. Inhale and exhale, release. Shake it out if you like. So let's do a side twist. This is really good for the stomach area. Helps with digestive issues. Good for people with diabetes. Helps improve, like I said, digestion. Releases the toxins in your waist area. And it also helps tone the waistline. So it's a very good practice. Also helps with your spinal flexibility. So we'll start by taking the right hand behind the back. Take your left hand either on top of or to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, stretch your spine straight upwards. And holding that stretch, exhale and twist to your right, looking behind you. Observe the nice curve along your spine. Inhale and exhale, release, come back to the center. So we'll switch sides. Take your left hand behind you, right hand on top of or to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, stretch your spine upwards, and exhale, twist to your left. Inhale and exhale, release, come back to the center. Okay, so we'll do one more movement for the waistline. Extend your legs out in a wide V. And we're going to imagine stirring a big pot. So imagine a pot between your legs and you're holding a stick and you're stirring it. Let's do 10 in each direction. Try to keep your knees straight and your toes of your feet pointing straight up. So do about 10 circles, as big as you can. finish about 10, we'll switch directions. Notice where you're feeling it. Back to the center and relax. And lie down on your mat face up. My normal classes are about an hour and 15 minutes, but we'll keep it a little short. So you can lie down in any comfortable position. Hands can be behind your head or to your side, palms facing down. So we're going to raise the hips up and down. This is called Setu Bandhasana, a variation where we add a little movement, or bridge pose as it's known. So inhale, slowly raise your back off of the mat from the bottom vertebra all the way to the top. Exhale, slowly lower from top to bottom. And do about 10 of these at your own pace. Inhale up. Exhale down. Slow, smooth movements. Again, you can do it with your eyes closed. Focusing inside. Notice what's happening within your body. If you're kind of stiff, maybe you won't go as smoothly as you hope to. It takes practice. So about 10 plus or minus a couple. Let's do one more. And when you're done, hug your knees into the body. Maybe rock side to side, massaging it out. And release, come back to the center. Extend your arms out to the side, palms facing down. Bring your knees towards your chest, knees bent. And we'll start by lowering the knees to the left and turning your head to the right. So you're in a side twist. Hold it here for a few breaths, relax. Notice that the higher you put your knees, the lower in the back you'll feel it. Or you can put it lower, your knees, the lower your knees are, you'll feel it maybe in the mid back. So adjust the position to somewhere where it feels good to you. Inhale, slowly come back to the center. And exhale, lower the knees to the right, turn your head to the left. And again, relax. Adjust your knee position to where it feels good. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, release. Lower your feet to the mat. Bring your right ankle on left. And again, we'll just do 5 foot circles in each direction, followed by 5 point and flex movements. When you finish the right side, switch legs and repeat the same to the other side. Good. Now bring the soles of your feet together. Spread your knees wide apart and grab the feet. For some of you who may not be able to reach their feet, it's okay. You can grab your shins or anywhere that would work. Or if you have like a strap, you can put it around your feet and pull your feet in towards your body. And just relax there where you're feeling a nice stretch. Your head can remain on the mat or your head can be raised for a little extra stretch. And with your exhale, release. So we'll come to a seated position again, and we'll do a little breathing exercise. Today we'll do a technique called Kapalabhati. It's a breathing exercise that allows the body to take in a lot of extra oxygen, and it is said to improve the function of your internal organs and your brain. If you do it on a long-term basis, it helps oxygenate your body, so your body stays a lot healthier. We will start a beginner's version today. If you are more advanced, if you have done this before, you can do it at your own pace. For beginners, it is recommended start with maybe 30-second sessions. So I'm only going to do one 30-second session today. If you want to repeat it, you can repeat it 2 or 3 times on your own. Just replay this video or pause the video and do it on your own. As you get more advanced, you might want to challenge yourself, maybe try a minute or 2 and maybe 2 or 3 sessions. Always do this on an empty stomach. So you don't want food in your stomach when you do it. So good times to do it are when you just wake up in the morning or before you go to bed or before your 3 meals of the day. You don't have to do it 5 times, obviously. Just do it however many times you would like to. It also has a weight loss benefit to the stomach area because we're pushing in and out of the stomach. It strengthens your lungs, so it helps your lungs become stronger, which is very important during this COVID pandemic. So it is said to strengthen the lungs and build your immune system and get your internal organs to function better, to move your chi or your life force energy in the body. So we sit comfortably with the hands on the knees, with the mouth closed. We are going to forcefully exhale and automatically inhale. We're going to do about a pace of 1 breath per second today. And that's usually a good beginner's pace. Like I say, if you're more advanced, you can go faster. So I'll do a little demonstration for those of you who are new to it. Just I know it's kind of hard to see. Maybe if you're a beginner, you can even have your hands on your stomach as you do this. So with your exhale, your stomach goes in. And with your inhale, it comes out. So let's do this together. Bring your hands on your knees, eyes closed unless you need to watch me. I think you're okay. So we'll forceful exhalation, automatic inhalation. About 30 seconds. So about 30 breaths. And completely exhale. And inhale and begin. And relax. So there's going to be a few seconds where you don't need to breathe. Your body is fully oxygenated. Try to observe that state. It's called kumbhaka in yoga, a very prized state in yoga. So observe the state where you don't need to breathe and let the air come back automatically without forcing it. So just let the breath slowly return at its own pace. And if you like, you can do one more set. Just press the pause button. Otherwise, we're going to go into Shavasana today. So just lie on your back, face up, palms extended out, looking upward, eyes closed, and start taking some deep breaths. Again, I don't want to film 5 minutes of Shavasana, so I will let you continue your Shavasana. You can pause the video if you like, and when you feel like you've done enough Shavasana, we will end the practice with our chant. So pause the video if you like and come back. So slowly come back to a seated position, moving your wrists and ankles, doing any final stretches that you like to do. And when you're ready, come to a comfortable seating position. And we'll do our final chant. Bring your hands in Namaste. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your hands together, generate some heat, and give yourself a nice massage around your face, neck, and shoulders. I thank you for joining me today. I will hopefully try to continue these videos every week if possible. So if you enjoyed it, please join us again. I will post them on YouTube, so I would enjoy sharing my practice with you again. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.